food is noisy today.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today we have a review of Skiff Intercept set that has 452 pieces. It has 4 minifigures, 5 weapons, 1 main build and 1 secondary build that you can build out of this one. You do not get 2 at the same time. So let's get on to the set. Here are the weapons, and let's see what do we have. Let's first talk about the figures. We have 4 of them, and 2 of them are identical to each other. So let's start with the least interesting to me, and this is Grunt conscript. This is a fairly plain Grunt, just has a purple plasma pistol and a beautiful metallic red body armor. I absolutely love this color. Why? Because it doesn't look toyish, unlike the orange Grunt from the Recon Getaway set. Has all the same features: the removable mask, the removable body armor and fuel tank, so you can just play with him around. Pretty nice figure to have. You can mask those as many as you want. In my opinion, great figure. Let's move on, and there comes another figure. You actually have 2 of these, like you see one in here, and basically what you get is this guy. That's all. They're basically identical. You can make them be different by just removing one's shoulder pad and giving another, or just placing his shoulder pad on the opposite side of another's one. But they are supposed to come like this. You cannot make a full armor because you have 2 right leg armor pieces, but no left. So what can I say about this figure? Can you focus? Yeah, what's good about him? This part, I was genuinely surprised to see that this leather armor has those stripes to keep it together. This is good detailing, very fine details. I love the armor and the paint job on this part. You can also remove it. It's still the same way. You can remove armor, you can remove leg straps, shoulder pads, anything like that. But basically I'm struggling. Basically it's the same thing. You do get a pair of extra heads for these guys, and I don't know why, because you have this head that you can put the helmet on. Where's the focus? Yeah, and there it is. There is Craig's head, and you can actually put a helmet on this one. I don't know why they include 2 extra heads of these, because basically it's the same heads. So you have 4 Craig heads and only 2 Craigs. When it comes to the weapons, I forgot to mention that the Spartan has a Bulldog shotgun. This is a new model of shotgun. It also supports this new rail system that you can attach scopes on, and you can also attach muzzle flares and silencer onto this shotgun. I think I've seen someone attach a silencer to it, and I think it looks really cool with the silencer. It does fit this shotgun, but nothing else, that chunky little silencer. And when it comes to brute warriors, you get 3 weapons. You get 2 Manglers, and you get one of these new rifles. I don't like one design feature of this rifle is this. Because of this part being too small, no figures can actually hold it straight forward. No, they can't. They physically can't. Or they will just have too much pressure on there. So in that way it's kind of a design flaw, but and other ways it's a pretty neat weapon to have, like this railgun type of weapon with a blade down over here. When it comes to Manglers, I have two of them, and both of them have this broken part, like the ammo clip doesn't stay on there very well. It's very loose, so basically it's kind of weird how both of them can have the same issue while another one I had does not. So yeah, overall it's a great model. I think it's a pretty neat weapon to have. I do like these two blades over here. They look pretty good, like you can go and stab someone, so it kind of gives this weapon more practical use. In terms of how accurate it is to the game, it's pretty accurate, so in my opinion it's a good weapon, but I wish it wasn't broken like both of these. And so we have gone through all the figures. Let's get to the skiff itself. And as you can see, you have a brute warrior sitting in here, and he's sitting basically just on this plain thing. I just has this little, I don't know what to call, a bar that goes into his back, and he can also hold down to the console itself. Pretty neat figure to have, but let's go to the skiff. First of all, the console has two printed pieces. Although they are identical to each other, they look pretty good. So pretty useful pieces actually over there. And what I do like is that this whole section can move. So chair moves independently, and the console itself moves independently. So you can put figures there without any problem. And now, you probably have seen this already, but when you move this engine, you have a rotating gun, which is a neat feature. I kind of like it, but I wish that this part would stay together and you would move only the round part, because to be honest, I don't like how that looks or that. I prefer it to stay on one place because it looks better that way, in my opinion. So when we take a look down here, we can see the actual mechanism for the gun rotation feature, and what we also have here is those three anti-gravity thingy that actually have to suspend the thing in cannon, but it is suspended on these 5 transparent bricks, I guess, with a ball-shaped downside. It's made so it can slide fairly easily on the table. I kinda dig it, but I'd prefer it to be like blue or something, because still it will just stay on these things. But overall I think it's a great feature. Now, what I do like about the skiff is these parts. Okay, building them was kind of tricky and a little bit confusing, but overall how they look great. If Skiff didn't have these, it wouldn't be as appealing to me in terms of design as it does with them. So I think it's a pretty neat design, although this thing you cannot actually do anything to it, so I understand why it's being done that way, but it kind of takes a little bit from the experience. Also, what I don't like about the build is this. It looks unfinished. Okay, this part looks unfinished. But what does look finished and looks absolutely amazing are these exhaust pipes. Okay, they look gorgeous. It's a great design. I absolutely love it. I don't know what these things are for. Are they supposed to move or no? So it's kind of very weird for me. Also, when you take a look at the top, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 printed pieces over here, and I mean they're okay, they're good to get, but they're not too memorable. In terms of the main section, I don't like only one thing about it, and it's the barrel for the cannon. I don't know what you could do to it, but it kind of looks a little ugly. Although this section kind of looks interesting. I really wish there was something over here as well, like some tiling or something, but I guess it's okay. When you move to the engine part, you have these 4 incredible printed pieces. I absolutely love these. These are, in my opinion, the best printed pieces in this set, and the cockpit looks the best. It actually looks the best, and a fun part is it's the most tricky part to build. It was insanely weird. I had to look back and forth on the instruction and the thing to try to understand what is happening to it, what should I do to it, what should I add. And basically it just looks good with these like blades over here on the engine, and this slick design with a little bit of bumpy texture. I like it. I absolutely like it. I was thinking if this would be a little smoother, I would like it or not, and I think I wouldn't, because this appeals to the design of the Banished. Now let's talk the gun. The gun, in my opinion, is the only disappointment in this build. Like this part and the gun itself. I mean, Mega did a good job just making a new part for this wouldn't make sense, and this gun actually looks okay, but they had better designs for these. I don't know, maybe it's made to be so, but I don't like it. It looks a little too boxy. But of course it is a firing gun. You can actually shoot those projectiles and they can fly pretty far. But overall, I don't like this gun. I'd appreciate if they would just put a second cannon that did not shoot, but would look absolutely amazing on this, because it kind of takes away from the experience a little bit. Overall, I think it's a pretty nice build. About the secondary build, I will have a separate video on it, but for now, my final verdict of this set, if anybody is still going back and forth on it and does not know whether he should get this set or not, I'm saying you should. If you have the opportunity, if you have the money and you do not know what to spend it on, and you have a few more variants, I think you should really consider getting that set, because although it has its flaws, it's not a Warthog that is just absolutely amazing. It's still a pretty good set. I enjoyed the build, and it kind of did take a lot longer than the Warthog. And the Warthog was built in about 1 hour by me, and this Skiff, although having only twice as much parts, took me 4 times as much time to build. It took me like 3.5 to 4 hours to build, so I was really surprised of how tricky it was. Yes, it was tricky, but I did like the challenge. Okay, modern tendency, especially in LEGO, is to make simple builds, but this is good if you're experienced with LEGO. You are going to love it, because it's a difficult build. You want to be able to build it in like 5 seconds because it's so easy. It's not. You will have to be looking after the parts and trying to find the correct one. Although it did come with numbered bags, it didn't help as much, because still build was kind of challenging. Overall, I think it's a pretty great set. If you're planning to get it, go get it. If you're going back and forth on it and thinking whether you should get a second Warthog rally or this, get this. If you don't have as much Mega Construx and this is gonna be your first set, I don't think it's gonna be the best idea. It's not the set that you should get first, but it's a set that you should get if you do like this. Overall, thank you for watching and I will see you next time. Goodbye.